Hi y'all. I know it's been a minute since I posted anything, but I really want to get more consistent with putting things up on my channel. Um, my channel is Gulf Coast Inspired, and here I share my faith, my creativity, and my life journey as a woman aging alone on the Gulf Coast. Along the way, I also am planning on sharing some stories and some nature walks and some of the little adventures I get into. Today is November the 8th of 2025. I'm about 6 months away from being able to retire fully from my nearly 40 years as a teacher, and I'm really looking forward to what's next in my life. Today I want to talk about having faith over fear. I don't know how it is for guys, but for us ladies, everything is stressful at times, especially when you're trying to do things on your own. I was a single mother. I adopted 2 sons, and everything was left up to me. All the decisions, all the provisions, all the corrections. So I know a lot about getting into situations where I really have to trust God. And that's what life really is all about, is realizing that if we're women of faith, then we don't need to fret and worry. There's so many verses in the Bible that tell us that. God's got our back. We just have to make sure that we're prayed up, that we stay faithful, that we do our part. Recently, I wound up losing the job that I had. Back in 2012, I retired from teaching in public schools with the goal of becoming a full-time writer. That all went south for so many reasons, but suffice it to say, I took a job teaching adjudicated youth in a private school. Well, in September or October of 2023, the school lost its funding, and so suddenly it was being closed, and I lost my job just out of the blue. And that was a scary time. It would have been easy to fall into the trap of just being fearful and throwing my hands up and wringing my hands and what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Instead, I got down to business like any normal person with grain of common sense would do, and I started applying for jobs. And just a note to all of you that are older, people don't want to hire older people, but I've got enough job applications out there that one came through, and it was with a company that hires like traveling nurses. And because my degree is in special ed with a specialty in teaching emotionally disturbed, I suited their categories, and there was a job opening over in Gulfport, Mississippi at the high school for a teacher to help with social and emotional students that struggled. They did well academically, but they struggled with being able to maintain their composure at school and especially in classes. And so I wound up getting the job, fortunately, and I lived over in Gulfport for about 7 months. It was a wonderful time. It was completely unexpected, but it opened up so many opportunities and experiences that I never would have thought would be in my life. I wound up getting an apartment right on the beach. I had a 5-minute drive to work. The job was hard. There's no two ways about it, but it was very fulfilling. But even with all that, it was never meant to be the long-term solution for me, and I did wind up coming home at the end of the school year, and that's a story for another day. But getting back to the theme for today, you have to have faith even when the bottom falls out, even when you're afraid you're gonna go bankrupt or be homeless. So many things can run through your head, but if you trust God and you keep living in faith and you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, keeping your head on your shoulders, usually it all works out. And when it doesn't work out, God has His reasons and He has His plans, and you just have to trust that He will show them to you, and through time He will pull you through. Just always remember all the things He's brought you through before, and lean on the Lord. Have faith in God. Have faith in yourself. So that's my words of wisdom for today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you'll hang in there with me as I try and grow this channel. I really want to share more about my faith walk, about the creative things I do in my life, and some of the adventures I go on. I love taking my camera and going out on nature walks. And sometimes I get into adventures unintentionally. When you have grown sons, whether they have families or not, somehow or another they manage to pull me into quite a few sketchy situations. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Isaiah 41:10. God doesn't promise a life without fear. He promises His presence in it. The courage to begin again doesn't come from confidence in ourselves. It comes from confidence in Him. Fear tells us we've missed our chance. Faith reminds us God is never finished. Fear focuses on what we've lost. Faith focuses on what God can provide. Fear says you're too old, too tired, too late. Faith whispers you're right on time for what God is doing next. Every new beginning carries the weight of uncertainty, but faith says, I don't need to see the whole path to take the next step. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Subscribe for more encouragement in your life, and visit GulfCoastInspired.com for devotionals, coloring books, and stories that celebrate faith and resilience. I'll see you in the next one.